Hi, I'm Meg. Welcome to Plant Fit Meg. Welcome back to the channel. I recently celebrated my vegan anniversary, so I have been vegan for 9 years. Yay! So, a very exciting milestone. I thought a great way to celebrate it would be to share some things that I've learned along the way, some things I wish I knew before I got started, and why I'm still vegan. Of course, this is personal to me and my experience, so it may or may not resonate with you, and it may or may not be similar to what you have experienced as a vegan. But I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below, so let me know about your experience and if any of this is similar, or if you've had maybe different experiences that you'd like to share with me and with everyone else in the Plant Fit Meg community. When I went vegan back in 2016, I was the only vegan I knew. So I had no association or familiarity with any other vegans at the time. And the only vegans that I knew of were just stereotypes. So pretty much the hippie vegan, peace and love, or the animal rights advocate who is very aggressive and gets in your face. And so when I went vegan, I was like, I don't really fit into either of those categories. But I soon came to find that, of course, those people exist, but vegans are from every walk of life, many different personalities, many different reasons for going vegan and for staying vegan, and there are so many cool, fun, compassionate, lovely people who are vegan, and it's not this black and white, stereotypical thing where, oh, well, there are these only these two boxes, and I felt kind of alone in not fitting into either one of those and not sure where I sort of belonged within the vegan community, and especially because I started with a lot of whole food plant-based eating as well. And so for the vegans, a lot of times they would say, oh, like, who cares about health? It's about the animals, right? And then for the whole food plant-based eaters, it was, well, it's just about being whole food plant-based. Don't eat any vegan junk. Don't eat any processed food. And I was trying to figure out how to make it work and be vegan and eat mostly whole food plant-based and be myself and do my thing and find others who also were doing the same thing. I initially started with some really black and white thinking, and honestly, I thought that eating a vegan diet would be not very much fun. I didn't think it would be very tasty or very enjoyable. I felt really strongly about my decision to go vegan, but I also thought that I might not like the food that much and that it might kind of suck to be vegan. But I was wrong. I enjoy the food. I love the food, and I always have loved and enjoyed the food. I think I just had very low expectations. Anytime I made a new recipe or tried something new, I just thought, ooh, I don't know if I'm gonna like this. It's something new. Ugh. And I was most often pleasantly surprised to find that I really did enjoy it. And in the beginning, I kept it super simple. I focused on flavors and things that I was already familiar with, really easy meals. I've talked about that a lot on the channel before, but I always enjoyed the food. It was always good, always delicious, and I'm still enjoying the food now, 9 years later. I also didn't like cooking. I didn't like vegetables, really. I didn't eat salads. I didn't like beans, and I wasn't sure how I was going to make it work. The other thing I expected was that going vegan was this big sacrifice, that it was going to be incredibly difficult, and that it was just going to be a really big challenge. And you do have to be more mindful of things and pay attention to things, but it gets easier so quickly. And initially, it can be a little bit overwhelming to be reading labels and just paying attention to things that you haven't paid attention to before, but just becomes second nature. It becomes what you do. It's like practicing any other new skill. If you're learning a musical instrument or a new language or anything, the more you practice, the better you get. And so it got to be just the default mode. I read labels, I pay attention to what I'm buying. Socially, it got easier to just say, yeah, I'm vegan, and chat with people about that and answer questions and be a lot more comfortable and confident with that. So the next couple might be a little controversial and might be unpopular opinions, but I'm going to go for it anyway. So number 4 is that my health will improve, but it won't be perfect, and that's okay. So when I first went whole food plant-based, I experienced a lot of health benefits. And over the years, I've had ups and downs with my health. And when I did sort of delve into eating a lot of vegan processed food, my health suffered for sure. But even going back to eating a predominantly whole food plant-based diet, my health has not been perfect along the journey. And so I have made a video about regaining my health and my health dramatically improving, and it did, and it has. However, last year I had a massive endometriosis flare-up and I had to have surgery. And I don't think that is because I'm vegan. I don't think that that is because of what I'm eating at all. But it's just to say that veganism isn't a panacea to fix all of your health problems and for everything to be wonderful and perfect and for you to not experience any health issues ever. So I think a lot of people know that, but when I first got started and I was vegan but also following a predominantly whole food plant-based diet, I did have sort of the impression that my health would improve dramatically and that it would stay improved dramatically forever. And stuff happens. And whether you eat a vegan diet, an omnivorous diet, whatever kind of diet you eat, stuff happens. People get sick. We're all humans, and it might be unpopular to say out loud, but people have illnesses, people have chronic conditions, and that's okay. This next one also might be a little bit unpopular, a little controversial, but eating a vegan diet, you can certainly lose weight, and you can also gain weight. And this kind of ties into my whole food plant-based eating as well. And I have lost a significant amount of weight, and I've talked about that a lot on the channel. And I've also had times along the years in that 9-year period where my weight has fluctuated a little bit and gone up and down for various reasons. And eating a vegan diet doesn't guarantee weight loss. And it also doesn't guarantee weight gain. So it's very dependent on what you're eating, what calories you are taking in, what energy you are expending, and calories count whether you are counting them or not. So I think it's an important reminder that weight loss is possible, weight gain is possible, and there's no moral connection to either of those. Both can happen. They are natural responses of the body with whatever input and output you're giving it, and you can be a very slim, trim vegan, or you can also be a vegan in a larger body, and that's okay, and people shouldn't be shamed for that. Another thing I wish I knew in the beginning was that there are so many ways to eat a vegan diet, to eat plant-based. And initially, again, this black and white thinking comes up where I really thought of it as on one side, you have the whole food plant-based eaters who are very serious about their health, who, eat those whole plant foods and pretty much avoid anything else. And then on the other side, you have junk food vegans that just eat Oreos and fries and all sorts of those kinds of foods all the time. And do those two groups exist? Yes, of course they do. However, there is such a massive spectrum of people all mixed into that, and there are so many ways to eat a vegan diet and to do it in a way that works for you, and whether that means focusing on your health goals and eating more whole foods, or whether that's just focusing on keeping it vegan, but otherwise just it needs to be vegan, but otherwise that's the only parameter. For me personally, I prefer to eat a predominantly whole food plant-based diet. I find I feel better with that. But processed food also is on a spectrum. Technically, if you chop up a vegetable it's processed. If you blend something, it's processed. So there are different levels of processing, and I think to demonize all processed foods is a little bit problematic, and there's nuance to be had there in terms of processing. For example, I love eating tofu, I love eating tempeh, I enjoy seitan and TVP, like these high protein vegan foods, and some people in the whole food plant-based community won't touch those foods and think they are not part of a healthy diet. And that's okay. I don't need to conform to what a specific group says or what a specific label is. And even within the whole food plant-based community, I find there's a lot of friction there with what people consider to be whole foods or not. Some people think that flour is or is not. Some people are SOS free, so they don't eat salt, oil, or sugar, while others do. So there's always going to be differences of opinion and spectrum within different communities. And I think as vegans, if we can just come together and say, okay, you do you, I will do what works for me, you do what works for you. I will do what I want to do based on my goals and where I am at in my life. I'm turning 40 this year and I want to build muscle. So I am focused on prioritizing protein and lifting weights and keeping it healthy by eating lots of whole foods as well. Related to my previous point about there being so many different ways to eat a vegan diet, I found there was a whole new world of food to explore when I went vegan. Before I went vegan, I was eating a lot of processed foods, and I sort of had different foods sort of on repeat. And now I eat so much more variety. I eat so many more different foods. And a lot of people think that being vegan is about being really restrictive and limiting, but I have found that the opposite is true. It opened up a whole new world to me of foods that I just never would have paid attention to or just wouldn't have looked into or experimented with. So many different vegetables, so many different beans, so many different spices and flavorings and sauces, nutritional yeast. I love nutritional yeast so much, and I probably never would have found it if I didn't go vegan. And also, there are just so many more products available in terms of meat alternatives and burgers and yogurts and ice creams and vegan cheeses. There's just so much available, and it's really cool to have access to a lot of these different vegan items that can be really fun to experiment with and test. Another unexpected thing that happened after going vegan is I noticed my energy level increased dramatically. And this might not be true for everyone, but it definitely was for me. And so I got into doing so many different activities that I don't think I would have tried otherwise. I got into running. I have done calisthenics. I had got into skateboarding for a little while there. And now I'm really into my strength training and bodybuilding. So it's been a really wild 9 years to see all of that happen and to really feel so much energy and feel like I want to move my body and I want to do all these different things. I also think with trying something new, being a new vegan and proving to myself that I could do that made me think, oh, well, this is another thing that I want to do or want to try. I should just go for it. And sometimes it would take me a little time to sort of get into it and go for it and do the thing. But I always had a lot of fun getting into new activities and trying new things. And it's cool that that has sort of transitioned over time from, starting out running early days. And then now I'm into strength training, and who knows what'll happen in the next 10 years, right? So it's very cool to see that and to have so much fun doing different things. And the last thing that I wish I knew when I got started was that I would stay vegan, that it would be fun, and that it wouldn't be such a challenge, such a misery, such a drag. My expectations were very low, and going vegan was one of the best decisions I've ever made, honestly. I'm a happy, healthy vegan. I have a happy, healthy vegan family, and I'm thrilled to be vegan and to be sharing my experience with you, my friends on the internet. Who knew that that would happen too? I started the channel back in 2020, and here we are in 2025. very cool that I get to share veganism here, share healthy lifestyle tips, share plant-based recipes, and connect with you. So I hope you really enjoyed this video and found it somewhat helpful or entertaining or both. If you liked the video, give it a like, share, subscribe. Any kind of interaction is most appreciated. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, especially if you're watching through right until the end of the video. If you are watching through until the end, leave a little broccoli emoji so that I will know that you have watched until the end of the video. Also, if you're a vegan watching this, let me know how long you've been vegan in the comments section below. I would love to hear how long you've been vegan and more about your experience as well, so we can connect in the comments section, share with each other, and learn from each other. I hope you're having a great day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!